Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the prelim fights for UFC 251 Usman versus Masvidal. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card and our first prelim fight. So in our first fight, we have in the heavyweight division, Tybura versus Maxim Grishin. Or Maxim Grishin, not Maximum, but Maxim Grishin. So look at this fight right here. You got two solid heavyweights. Tybura was on a skid for a little while. He was becoming very flaky. Then he was able to get that win over Sergey Spivak. And, you know, this dude he has to do to get back on the winning side. Is it enough that you really want to see from him to really trust him again? No, but it's something. Maxim Grishin on the other side, a lot of fights, a lot of experience. I think we'll have like 30-plus wins and 7 losses. So he has a lot of experience. I just don't think he's fought the best competition. I think the best fighter he's fought is Jordan Johnson. That's a former UFC light heavyweight who never really stepped up and fought at the highest level of competition. Like, he was kind of on a low entry level of the light heavyweight division and never really fought any true competition in the light heavyweight division before he, I guess, contract negotiations ended up with him being in PFL or the Premier Fighting League or World Series of Fighting, whatever it was at the time he joined. As a matter of fact, I think it was PFL by the time he joined, but whatever the case is. He never really fought the cream of the crop in the UFC or even got close to tasting the cream of the crop in the UFC before he left. So it's really hard to gauge where Grishin's skill level is at. But like I said, he's fought a lot of light heavyweights, and I think he could. His frame is a frame that could make 205. Is he the smallest heavyweight? No, but he definitely has a frame that can make 205, and he's been in there with a couple former light heavyweights. So I think he definitely can make 205, and I think that's definitely will be in his future. And I think this fight will be a factor in that fight as well. So looking at this fight, I think Tybura is actually the better striker between the two. I think he's a more experienced fighter as far as at the higher caliber, faster kicks. I think Grishin has a little bit better as far as hands versus kicks. I think Grishin has the better hands. Tybura has better kicks. I think against actual experienced, solid, credible heavyweights, I think Tybura has the resume for that, whereas Grishin really hasn't fought anyone of note in the heavyweight division. He fought like Jordan Johnson. I don't know if that fight was a light heavyweight or a heavyweight, but Jordan Johnson is clearly a light heavyweight. And even at light heavyweight, he has a lot of flab on him. So, Jordan Johnson's not really the best person to say, oh, I really fought a heavyweight. You didn't really fight a heavyweight. You fought like a flabby 205er. And even at 205, he's flabby. Jordan Johnson probably can make middleweight, but whatever the case is. And I think in that second fight, he was getting laid and preyed on and struggling with Jordan Johnson. But in this fight, I see two fighters that can definitely strike or play out a strike. And I think if it goes to the grappling, I think Tybura has the advantage in that edge. As we've seen him mixing grappling a couple times in these fights and looked pretty decent with his grappling, especially as far as the takedown defense. He has one of the better takedown defenses in the not the light heavyweight, but in the heavyweight division. But I really feel like Tybura will have more tools and he'll utilize more tools, mixing the grappling, mixing the clinch, be a veteran that he is, use his size, mixing his kicks, give Grishin a lot of different looks and make Grishin have to react to everything he's doing. So like I said, I feel like he's going to do a veteran style, mixing the clinches, go for some takedowns here and there, and just do what he needs to do to get a win. I think it's still going to be a competitive fight. I think Grishin in that pocket sometimes going to get off with the hands, and that's going to be some scary moments for Tybura, especially what we've seen in like 2 of these fights where he just got swarmed on and ain't have no way to react or wasn't able to react the best. But I feel like he'll be able to get in that clinch, wear on Grishin, and then really start to let his own striking game go. And then, like I said, just be the veteran, be the bigger fighter, and use that to his advantage. So in this fight, I got Tybura via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division, Davy Grant versus Martin Day. So this was a couple years ago. I'll probably lean heavily to Davy Grant. But looking at his last performance, I mean, he fought not the best fighter in the bantamweight division. I think it was a Grigory Popov or something like that. Not the best fighter, and he was struggling in that fight. He had to go. Davy Grant is known as a striker. And in that fight, he had to go. He became a wrestler. You know, when Nate Diaz said, "So you're a wrestler now." So yeah, let me say it again. So what Nate Diaz said, "So you're a wrestler now." So in that fight, he turned into a wrestler against subpar fighter. Like, that was a fight he should have been able to get a finish, but he barely skid by. Like, he was just dragged across the finish line in that third round. Like, he was gassed and he was slowing down, and he just had to hold on for dear life to get that decision in that fight. So like, that was against a lower tier fighter. And he just looked lethargic in that fight. I don't know if he had staph infection or whatnot, but he looked lethargic. Right? Maybe he's just, as this age is caught up to him. I think he's 34, 35. Not the oldest, but maybe age caught up. Some people age quicker than others. Some people just, at some point, they just go over the hill. But that fight was looking like one of those fights where he just did not look good. In modern day, isn't the best fighter. I mean, well, he's not a bad fighter, but it's not like he's certainly a caliber fighter that Davey Grant hasn't fought, or Davey Grant isn't at that level. I just feel like Davey Grant is kind of declining, or in that last fight he didn't look the best. I think Martin Day in his last fight was like 2 years ago. I don't know what happened between those 2 years, but I think it was a fight he clearly won. Outside of getting dropped, I think in every single round, Martin Day outlanded his opponent like 20 strikes. It was a robbery. He got a drop. His opponent got a drop, but in every single round, he got outlanded his opponent by like 20 significant strikes. So it was a clear robbery. I don't know what they were thinking, but they gave him Simba. While I'm leaning to Martin Day, I see him as a solid fighter. Like, he's always on his toes, fast, good reflexes, good combos, good volume, sharp, accurate. And when I see a fighter that's the fresher of the two, and they're sharp and they're accurate and they're active, good footwork, good technique, and solid like that, and I see a fighter kind of declining, I'm going to lean to the fresher fighter, without the mileage, without the age, a little bit younger, 31 versus 35. I'm leaning to Martin Day because of those factors. So he's fresher, sharper, where I'm kind of saying Davey Grant is a fighter, like, it's kind of, like I said, looking like he's declining a little bit. So in this fight, I'm leaning to Martin Day to get a decision. So in this fight, I have Martin Day via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the women's bantamweight division, Carol Rosa versus Vanessa Melo. In this fight, I think a lot of people are leaning to Rosa, and I'm leaning to Rosa as well. But really looking at her last fight and looking at Melo's losses, it's not like they're all that far apart. It's not like Rosa went out there and had some amazing performance. She didn't. She had a neck-and-neck matchup with an opponent. I don't think that was the highest prospect or anything like that, or the hottest prospect. And she went out there and had a pretty much a neck-and-neck close fight that probably almost could have went either way. Probably could have almost went either way, but it was like, 100 and something strikes versus 100 something strikes. Only outlanded her opponent by about 7 or 5 significant strikes. So it was a very competitive fight. And Vanessa Melo has fought better competition in this division. She fought like Tracy Cortez, who's a hot prospect in this division. She fought Irene Aldana, who's on a fire, and neither of them finished her. So she's fought better competition, and I think those same people would beat Rosa. So it's not the easiest fight, or it's not the clearest fight. It's people wanted to make it seem, but I'm still willing to Rosa, mainly not because of what people are saying or because, oh, she did this and she did that, but because more so because I see Rosa as a fighter that has striking and stuff. It could be even, but I feel like Rosa has a clear advantage in the grappling. Like, even though she might not have the highest accuracy in takedown or the highest takedown accuracy, or maybe she won't even get a takedown in this fight, the fact that she has that edge is something that Melo's going to have to think about, and it's something that Rosa can exploit. I think, like I said, striking is not the biggest gap for either fighter. I think it's pretty neck and neck in the striking, but I think in grappling, I think Rosa has, I'm not saying like she has a wide gap wide advantage in grappling, but she has a notable advantage. And I think that's going to have Melo thinking and reacting to her grappling, or respecting that grappling, which will allow Rosa to let her strikes flow a little bit more, and which will then, when she gets so set up, or even when she's attempting takedowns, that's scoring, or at least it's reflecting the judge. Like, you're throwing strikes, you're initiating clinches, going for takedowns on top of a fight where it's already close in the striking differential or the striking aspect. Any little different edge is going to lean towards the fighter that's giving that other look, and I think Rosa has that other look. So pretty much see a close competitive fight, but Rosa having that other edge was what's going to lean, put her over her opponent. So in this fight, I have Carol Rosa via decision. Now on to our next fight we have in the flyweight division, Raulian Paiva versus Zhumagulov. Can't really say that name, but to get to the point, Zhumagulov, he has a win over Ali Bagutinov, a former 125 standout, and even was a standout outside of UFC, before the UFC, during the UFC, and after UFC. So that's a pretty good win. But looking at that fight, I think he actually lost that fight. You can kind of say what you want and pick how you want. I think he lost his fight to Tyson Nam as well. I think this is a guy that's been getting lucky. I guess he has a fan base. I guess he knows some people, but he like a Down syndrome. But whatever. Let me not even get into that. But whatever case, he must know some people because the crowds be loving him from the fights I watch. But his technique isn't the best. I say he has good takedown defense. He's a good scrambler. He's tough. He's durable. But his technique is almost amateurish in my opinion when I look at him striking. Like, he whiffing on a lot of shots from, questionable range. Like, he be close, almost on the inside, to be missing and whiffing. Like, I know his opponents don't be standing there for him, but to be whiffing by that much and just be swinging these shots, be all square like he is, he really just gets by having, like I said, some of these fighters aren't really all that talented, but they're just good enough. Like, you can't really take them down or just dominate them on the ground. They got good cardio. They're durable. So You can take them down, but they'll get back up and they'll be in your face, like, like a punching bag, like a little workman type of fighter. And you're going to have to deal with them the whole time. So you gas out, they will make you pay, or they will be in your face the whole time, and they could get wins that way. But outside of that, he don't really have no standout technical abilities. I don't see no super heavy hands. He definitely got some power in his hands, but he's not that one-punch knockout guy. He's not a guy like, oh my gosh, I can't get hit by him. Every single shot going to do some damage. Nah, he's not that guy. He got a little bit of oomph on his punches, but that's about it. Technique not all that amazing. Offensive grappling not that amazing. Defensive grappling more so where he's strong at. When I look at Raulian Paiva, I see a taller fighter. I see a better striker. I can see if this was a 5-round fight, maybe he could slow down Paiva or something like that. But really, I think in the grappling aspect, I think Paiva beats him in the grappling aspect. I think in the striking aspect, Paiva beats him in the striking aspect. And in this fight right here, he won't have no hometown crowd or no biased judges or anything like that to save him. And I think Paiva just picks him apart on the feet. I think Zhumagulov tries to do some desperate grappling and gets dominated on the ground. As a matter of fact, he never really fought a grappler at the level of Paiva as well. So it's not like you're going against a wrestler when you're going for a takedown. All you got to do is worry about them defending you or trying to counter wrestling you. Like when you're going against a grappler, your life is in danger when you're going for these takedowns, especially you're panicking. But I don't think he gets hurt too much. Like I said, this guy has a brick for brains, brick head. So he'll probably take some good damage. But I think Paiva just picks him apart on the feet. Maybe mixes some grappling of his own. Still competitive fight. Like I said, this guy's a dog. He got brick, like I said, brick for brains. He's going to be out there making you have a fight. But I think Raulian Paiva just has a cleaner technique. And is the better fighter, in my opinion. Like, I think it's a competitive fight, but I think Paiva beats him everywhere. But nonetheless, like, that dog is going to make it an interesting fight. So, in this fight, I got Raulian Paiva via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the lightweight division, Leonardo Santos versus Roman Bogatov. So, you got a nice undefeated fighter, Roman Bogatov. I think it's 5'8" versus the 6'4" Leonardo Santos, giving up some height, giving up some reach. And really looking at Roman Bogatov, this is a pretty cut and dry fight right here. This is an easy one to predict. If it goes the other way, it goes the other way. But from what I've seen, let me say one thing. Leonardo Santos is 40 and Bogatov is 30, but I don't think it really matters too much because they're really both grapplers. I look at Bogatov striking and see nothing impressive from it. Like he looks like a grappler, that this trying to, round out his MMA game. His striking doesn't look like it's really there yet. He's just a striker. He just has what he needs enough that he can, utilize his wrestling and be seen as a full, well-rounded mixed martial artist. But his striking really ain't there. Leonardo Santos, you could say at one point he was just just a grappler that was trying to learn striking, but his striking has fully come along. Is he one of the best strikers in his division? No. But he is definitely, you definitely got to respect his striking. I think Leonardo Santos reaches will have that, like, I'm all stuttering. Sorry about that, and I'm not editing that, but yeah. But Leonardo Santos striking is some striking you definitely got to respect. No matter what level of striker you are, you have to respect striking. And I can't say that about Roman Bogatov, but that reach of Santos and the striking and the power he has now, along with being the level of grappler that he is, I really think that Bogatov is going to be in a bad situation. I think he's going to get picked apart on the feet. If he tries to go for grappling, I think Leonardo Santos could tap him in any which way, and I just really see that happen. I just see Santos picking him apart on the feet, making Bogatov panic and wrestle, and then tapping him out in the first round. So in this fight, I got Leonardo Santos via first round submission. Now to our next fight we have in the featherweight division, Makwan Amirkhani versus Danny Henry. And this is another fight that's pretty cut into the point, and I'm not even going to drag this one out. I think Danny Henry is a nice, long, weird fighter. I think his takedown defense is actually a little bit decent, but who has he really fought in the UFC? He fought like a striker, he fought Dan Ige, and he fought the Tamor brother that you wish you can forget. And then he took him to decision. But really in this fight, I see Danny Henry is like he's a grappler, but he kind of have an awkward striking, or, this is whatever the case is. But really what I see, I don't see Henry being able to deal with the pressure and the grappling of Amirkhani. I think Amirkhani's grappling just on a different level. And I just think he takes him down and just has his way with him. I think it's a different levels to the grappling. I think Amirkhani's grappling just on a different level, and it's going to show. And I think he just goes out there, puts the pressure on him, takes him down, and submits him in the first round. So in this fight, I got Makwan Amirkhani via first round submission. Now to our co-prelim headliner we have in the welterweight division, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos versus Muslim Salikhov. So if it was probably a straight up striking matchup, I would probably lean to like Muslim Salikhov, just for the fact that he had packed so much power. He's so unorthodox, and he's so good at finding that kill shot. Like, he can find that shot, land that one shot, put your lights out. And Zaleski, I'm not gonna say Dos Santos. That Zaleski probably getting me, but whatever case. He kind of has he be dropping those hands a little bit, and I think Salikhov will catch him over top. But where I'm really leaning to the Dos Santos in this one is for the fact that one time fight where Salikhov was taken down and was dominating on the ground by a fighter that isn't even known for being a grappler. He was taken down relatively easily, dominating on the ground, and then submitted. Once he got taken to the ground, he looked like a white belt grappler. And I think as time has passed, his grappling probably has gotten better. His takedown defense has probably gotten better, but I don't think it's been enough time, or we really haven't even seen any improvements. We haven't even seen it tested, and I think Zaleski Dos Santos can definitely... let me say nothing about Zaleski Dos Santos. His takedown accuracy isn't the highest, but the fact that he has some pretty solid grappling, I think he might be a black belt in BJJ, that level of grappling. The fact that he's already explosive and such a good striker. Salikhov probably is the better striker, probably. But the fact that I think Dos Santos could definitely hold his own on the feet with Salikhov. And then the fact that he has that other angle. Anytime a fight is kind of close, when you got somebody has that other edge, like I said, anytime a fight is kind of close, you lean to the person who has the edge. And who has the edge is Dos Santos. He has the ability to take him down, and he has that black belt in BJJ or some kind of belt, but he's definitely the better grappler by far between the two. So he could, even if he only has 20% takedown accuracy, the fact that that's something else for Salikhov to worry about. And I think he still could get takedowns in this fight. I don't think Salikhov's takedown defense is all that great. I think he could mix those in, along with his unorthodox striking and his explosiveness, mixing in those takedowns, dominate Salikhov on the ground, and fight a smart fight, get that submission victory, and get the victory. I think he fights smart, fights on the outside, chewing up Salikhov's legs, mixing in, blitzing, and then will fake off the blitz to get to a takedown and start to work him on the ground. I think he kind of, mixes up that strategy over the course of the first and second. I think third round, he's finally able to capitalize on it and get the submission in the third round. So in this fight, I got Elizu Zaleski Dos Santos via third round submission. Now on to our prelim headliner we have in the light heavyweight division, Volkan Oezdemir versus Jerry Prochazka. So this is an interesting fight right here. You got the risen champion or the risen light heavyweight champion in Jerry Prochazka. He's been on the eyes of many hardcore fans for many years. I think from the first time when he fought King Mo all those years ago in Risen, though he didn't win that fight, people saw his age and his youth and saw his ability and saw that he could grow, and he did, and he went on to become the Risen champion years later. But yeah, a lot of eyes on him. He's been looking good, and now he's getting a big fight in his UFC debut against Volkan Oezdemir, who's also on the tear. So the current, past, former Risen light heavyweight champion versus Volkan Oezdemir, the one-time UFC light heavyweight title challenger. Did he win that title? No. He was unsuccessful, but he was there before. And now he's riding some steam. He got 2 wins right now. And actually, in some people's eyes, he's on a 3-fight winning streak because people feel he beat Dominic Reyes. And that's a pretty big feather in his cap, given the fact that a lot of people feel that Dominic Reyes beat John Jones in their fight. So that's a feather, that's a big feather in his cap. Back then, it was a big feather in his cap. But even now, after that John Jones versus Reyes fight, it's an even bigger feather in his cap. The fact that people feel that he beat Dominic Reyes. And now riding a big KO victory over Ilir Latifi, and then riding a win over not Jerry Prochazka, but Alexander Rakic, who a lot of people see as one of the hotter prospects in the division. So he's riding a 2-fight winning streak, and like I said, arguably a 3-fight winning streak. So both got some steam going on them. But to get to the point of this one, I think Jerry Prochazka is a long, I think 6'2", 6'3", maybe even 6'4" fighter, and Oezdemir 6'2". But as far as the style-wise, Jerry Prochazka, a solid striker, very unorthodox, come with good uppercuts, good speed, good timing, good range, good control, cuts with very good angles. But the kind of knock on him is he doesn't defend leg kicks. He's kind of one-dimensional as far as the fact that he doesn't really attempt no takedowns. Not the best takedown defense. He has good scramblability and get back to his feet. Poor takedown defense, but you can't hold him down. He'll get back up, but it's never a good thing to allow people to get any free points on you. So you're allowing free takedown. That's not a good thing. Even if you spring back up, not a good look. Doesn't defend the leg kick. Keeps his hands low and his chin out there. And now he's going against one of the best strikers. He is going against the best striker he has ever fought, in my opinion. People might say, oh, he fought this guy, but this is the best striker he has ever fought. And I think it's clearly the best fighter he has ever fought in MMA. And this guy Volkan Oezdemir has some of the best leg kicks in the sport, definitely in the division. And we've seen we've seen Jerry Prochazka not deal the best with leg kicks. We've seen King Mo kick his leg out. We've seen him get his leg chewed up by CB Dollaway in like a 2-minute fight. And these guys aren't guys known for leg kicks. And now you're going against a guy that has heavy leg kicks, heavy hands, and then is the best striker you have ever fought. And how I see this fight really going, like I see Prochazka, it's still been an exciting fight. Like I said, Prochazka has some high level striking and is definitely a dangerous fighter, though one dimensional. Is fact, not saying like he's so predictable and nothing like I'm saying one dimensional. The fact that he doesn't present any more threats outside of his striking. Like he's just a striker. That's all he is. I think Volkan Oezdemir definitely can have some success with wrestling if he mixes in. I'm not saying that's the path to victory that he should take, but that's definitely a different look he can mix in. But how I really see Volkan Oezdemir winning this fight is that chewing up the leg. Like I said, Volkan Oezdemir is one of the better leg kickers in the sport and definitely in this division. Jerry Prochazka doesn't really check leg kicks. And the fact that he doesn't, now he's going against a real leg kicker, I think that's a problem. And he's going against one of the better strikers he's ever fought. So leaving that leg out, they're getting that chewed up. And definitely already relying on his legs to get him out of trouble, because he leaves his hands down, he hangs his chin out there so that his opponents bite, or so his opponent can't see his hand, get him to look at and get him to react, and he fires these strikes on them. But once you get your legs chewed up and you don't have those wheels on you, and already his defense isn't the best, so you're going to get those legs chewed up. That's going to take away from your only defense. Then the heavy hands of Volkan Oezdemir, the high caliber level of striking, he'll probably mix it to the body as well. I don't think Jerry Prochazka defend his body that well either. It's more so he just tries to make you to swing for his head, make you miss, and make you pay. But when you're getting your legs chewed up and opponents just like chopping you down like your leg and your body, like Volkan Oezdemir will chew your leg up, he'll chew your body up, then he'll chew your head up. He's not like these other fighters where they'll just headhunt. And that's going to the fighters that kind of play into the Jerry Prochazka's game. So I really see him chewing the leg up, chewing the body up, chewing the head up. And taking shots from Volkan Oezdemir is a recipe for disaster. That man hits too hard, hits too sharp, and it's not a good look. I just think, like I said, the tendency to not defend the leg kick is going to do him in and get his leg chewed up, take away his wills, take away his defense. And then, like I said, it's going to be it's going to be a process, chopping the tree down. Then eventually when those legs get worn out, he's not being moved the way he wants to move. Usman's going to cut the cage off, go to the body, come up top, catch him on the chin, drop him, and finish him in that second round. So in this fight, I have Volkan Oezdemir via second round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the prelims of UFC 251, Usman versus Masvidal. And as always, thanks for watching.